Good evening and welcome to the conversation. I'm Kenny Rouche and I'm glad you're here tonight. Do me a favor and as you come on, please share this on your pages. You have a couple of minutes to call a friend, tell them to tune in. It's going to be a great conversation tonight. But as we get started, welcome to the conversation. Good evening, and welcome. Good evening and welcome to all of you. Welcome to the conversation. I'm glad you all are here. Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the conversation. Most of you probably know me, but for the one or two persons who may not, I'm Kenny Rouche, and I am so glad you all are here on this Thursday, here for another conversation with Kenny. I'm so delighted that you all are here. And I want to say welcome to all of you. And we are here for a great conversation. I am so excited about our guest that's with us tonight. And without any further delay, listen, before I bring our guest on, please do me a favor and share this on your pages. If you're not on your phone, call someone and let them know that they have three opportunities. We're on three Facebook pages and our Branded Hearts YouTube page. So we're on four pages right now. And so I'm not sure which one you all are on, but we're so glad you're on. Call someone, tell them to tune in because we have just some great information that's going to be shared. And our guest is such a wonderful person here in the city of Savannah. And so without any further delay, I'm going to introduce our guest for tonight. And this is none other than Mrs. Arianna Berksteiner, and she is the executive director of Emmaus House here in Savannah. So without any further delay, please welcome at this time our special guest for tonight, Mrs. Arianna Berksteiner. Arianna, welcome.
Hello. Gosh, thank you so much for having me. Good
I am
evening.
so delighted. I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule
Of course.
to be with us tonight. But when I first heard of what you do, and listen, I've been in Savannah for so many years. I left Atlanta, went to Atlanta for a while and came back. But just being around, I thought I pretty much had a pulse on
All of
who's
it.
in Savannah and what's going on.
Yeah.
But I had no idea of the great work that you are doing. And so when I heard about you, I said, absolutely, if she can squeeze us into a conversation, I would
Hey.
love it because there may be someone else who is not familiar with what you do. So before we get into what you do as the executive director of Emmaus House here, tell us a little bit about who you are and whether there's a family or whatever. Just give us a little bit about you.
Yeah, absolutely. So my name's Arianna Berksteiner. I'm originally from Orange County, California. Very long walk. Took me quite a while to walk here. I got very tired. Figured I would stop when I hit the other ocean, right? Um, but I have a deep passion for people. I have a passion for our environment. I have a passion for folks just doing the right thing and working together to do the right thing and to sort of be be God's feet on the ground, right? Um, and so, yeah, I have a wonderful husband who works for SCAD. So we're very much a Savannah family, right? We've got two beautiful children, two boys, 4 and 7. And my life involves Emmaus House and serving folks who are disenfranchised that need us the most, and then spending time with my babies and my husband. And I paint, and yeah, that's me, an artist and a hardworking philanthropist type, I guess.
I love it. I
Yeah,
love it, and hats off to the work that you and your husband do as well. And
yeah,
you paint as well. I'd love to see some of
yeah,
that work if that's ever if you ever have that on
yeah,
display for us in the public.
for
But
sure.
just a
Definitely.
minute ago, you said that you're God's feet on the ground,
Right.
and that's interesting because when I was just preparing for this conversation and doing a little research on your company, the
Mhm.
word that came to my mind was missionary when I
Yeah.
saw what you do and what your organization does. And so I just wanted to ask you, do you consider yourself a type of missionary in the
You
work you do?
I think to an extent, I would say there's an element of that. I kind of look at what we do, or at least what I do, like I feel like I'm sort of at the helm of this giant ship, right? And the ship is full of individuals who are like, hey, I see a problem in our community. I am called to be a steward of this planet, of not just the oceans and the mountains, but more importantly, the people, right? Um, and so I need to figure out how I can do that. And I think in being in a leadership position in an organization like this, we're basically just creating an opportunity for folks to give back in the way that they feel most comfortable and would be most effective for them. That right, that would nurture them the most. So if that means coming to Emmaus House and actually volunteering and putting your time and talents to work physically, if that means, hey, I've been blessed with funds that I'm able to give toward Emmaus House so that we can use those funds to actually procure items. And if that's what you want to do, there's so many different ways that you can help, whether it's coming and just being there to have a conversation with a client. Honestly, the biggest thing I think in our homeless individuals who are experiencing homelessness, one of the biggest things is feeling dehumanized, and being able to go to a place where they will not be told, "Hey, you're not supposed to be in here," um, or we don't want you in here for whatever reason. Not only are they celebrated and welcomed inside of these four walls, but there's like a good morning, how are you? Would you like a cup of coffee? What can I do that'll make your day better? And just being an ear and actually listening, giving that human element, right? Um, I think being able to take the folks that are like, I want to be involved in that in some capacity, and being able to drive that boat or that ship or boat. What was the analogy I used? Ship, boat, sure. Take that vessel and move it forward. Um, and so I guess to an extent, it's like, I'm in the community going, "Hey guys, follow me. There's so much good to be done, and we need you. We need your help. Whatever your skills and your talents, and whatever those might be, even if it's just you're good at listening. That's huge. That's what we need, right? We need volunteers who can come, to Emmaus House and be able to sit and listen to people just have a conversation. It's hard to just feed people and give them what they need and send them on their way. More than anything, it's about being able to for them to walk away from that conversation like I was able to talk to someone that really saw me, um, as a person, and recognize that my trials and tribulations are valid. Um, so I mean that's such a beautiful thing. People kind of forget how important that is. So
Absolutely. And
yeah,
I think about there are so many. I guess it's cold in Savannah right now,
yeah,
and so to be honest, I think about the homeless population in Savannah in general, but especially when the weather turns and and as you said, these are people.
yeah,
Uh, some of them who have come upon a hard time, but to be treated as human beings
right,
that are worthy
right,
of respect of being.
absolutely, yep.
I love
Like,
what you do now, and I want to talk more about that because it's cold here. How does that affect your organization in terms of do the numbers increase or does it change on a night like tonight or
yeah.
like today?
Well, I would say, um, the need kind of changes. So we have a clothing closet, we partner with SCAD and Epiphany Church, and they help us. Um, Hi, Chinese. Sorry, I got excited. It's a friend. Um, but we partner with these organizations to provide items for the clothing closet. And so, obviously, during the summer, there's a high demand for like tank tops, shorts, flip flops, summer clothes. Sometimes we get people asking for bathing suits. And then, obviously, this time of the year, the demand skyrockets to obviously warmer clothes, but like they sell these small square like pocket warmers that when you rub them together, they warm up your hands that you can keep in your pockets. We have demand for that. Scullies, winter jackets. The weather doesn't quite change the amount of people. It just changes, I guess, the type of items that people are requesting, right? So that's kind of how the clothing closet is affected. But obviously, hot coffee, soups, warm, stick to your bones more all day kind of food is very popular. Um, but I would say the demographic of who we see doesn't really change.
So I want to ask you a question. So let's just say for the person who's not familiar with Emmaus House, would you tell us exactly what Emmaus House is and
Absolutely.
tell us what it is your organization does?
Absolutely. It's my favorite thing to do. So we're actually celebrating 40 years this year, which is phenomenal, of providing very basic needs to individuals in our community who are experiencing homelessness. So we do a hot meal every weekday at 8:30 in the morning. And it's not necessarily breakfast. It's breakfast time, but it's not ever really breakfast food. Like there'll be turkey wings, lasagna, that good stick to your bones all day, grandmama fed me good today kind of meal, the kind of thing that's going to get you through most of the day, right? Um, We also provide laundry and shower opportunities. So folks who come to us can early morning get on the list, and they can come in and take a hot shower. They can drop off a load of laundry to be washed, dried, and folded by us, and they pick it up the very next day. We use scent beads. It's like we've had people very much affected by our laundry service, just in that they can bring us a load of laundry that, I mean, we're servicing individuals who are sleeping in environments not meant for human habitation. And so they come to us with clothes that have been left, in the dirt, basically. And then not only are we washing it, but we're also drying and folding and using scent beads, and they get their laundry and it just smells really wonderful. So that always makes us feel really good that people are excited about that program. And we also have our clothing closet. And so we do all these things in an effort to ensure that those of us who are not sleeping in a home where we have access to a shower and a kitchen and a coffee maker and a toothbrush and hot water, we take those things for granted, right? We wake up in the morning, we just do what we need to do, and you know, feel good and go out into the day and be productive. But how do you do that if you've woken up this morning under a bridge or in a tent that is on the ground, literally in the swamp surrounded by frogs and lizards? How do you go throughout the day saying the society culture is telling me that I'm not worthy, and how am I going to get myself to feel worthy if I literally just woke up in the dirt? So we really truly believe that our biggest focus is making sure that folks can come to us, get those basic needs done, right? Even get a fresh, not only laundered fresh, set of clothes, but even get some new pants or new jeans or a new t-shirt, something that they're going to feel confident in, and then they can go out into their day feeling the way that those of us who are housed can go out into the day. That is our purpose. That is our goal. We're not solving homelessness. We are invested in that taking place, obviously. But our goal is to make sure that those people who have fallen through the cracks are being caught by somebody. Um, and that somebody is us and the community that supports us. So that's what we do.
Wow,
We're very
God
proud.
bless you for what you do. And I was going to ask you about the homeless population here, of course, which has been in the news in the last few weeks because of changes that are being made in our city.
Yep.
And so I see that you, as you said, I don't think it can be solved by just one individual or one organization, but everyone has a part in doing that. And my
Yeah.
hat off to you all for the part that you do. Now, I want to back up for just a minute. Now, I
Yes.
learned years ago, I've been on this earth long enough, I have learned not to ask a lady her age, but you seem to be pretty young and you are the executive director. I mean, come on now. Fist bump, high five, all this stuff. I just want to ask you, tell us about your path from where
Yeah.
you were to executive director. I'm impressed. I'm happy. I'm overjoyed. I love to see empowerment and promotion and all these things. I love it. So tell us a little bit about your path to where you are.
Yeah. Well, I will start off by saying, the way my knees set up and how they feeling lately, the compliment and feeling young is nice to hear because listen, sometimes she don't feel very young. Um, I'm turning 38 at the end of this month on November 27th. So, and I also am incredibly immature. There's a lot of goofiness. I have two boys. There's a lot of joy and silliness, and I'm gonna get smile lines pretty early in life, and that's okay. But that's probably what gives the air of youth. But honestly, I just haven't gotten
Smile
my
lines. I love it.
once I get these grays, you're gonna be like, oh, yeah, I see how old you are. um, but yeah, so I moved to Savannah and fell in love with the city. I have a background in environmental nonprofit, and I've always been a nonprofit type. It's always kind of been hard for me to make money for people who I don't know what they're going to do with it. And by all means, do what you need to do. But I've always felt drawn to the nonprofit sector. And then in moving to Savannah, it was kind of like and I always will feel strongly about protecting our planet. Again, we're stewards of this earth. And then when I came here, and I obviously there's the homeless population is a national issue, right? I mean, there are other countries that don't have homelessness problems like we do. Then it's just a fact. And so, in coming here, I got involved with a friend of mine actually a few years ago, 10 years ago, almost 15. Huh. Again, 38. But I got involved with a project that she was working on called Head, Shoulders, Fingers, Toes, mouthful, where we would collect funds to go out and purchase like snow ski quality gloves and scarves and hats and jackets and everything, and go out and actually distribute these to the camps. And I just got involved and excited about that project. So much so that when the Emmaus House director position was available, it just felt right. And I had just had a kid, and I was like, it's time to get out of this house. It's time to get out into the community a little bit more. So it just worked out perfectly, and I'm never going back. They're gonna have to peel me out of that my office chair. So
That is amazing. I'm glad you gave us that journey, and I just hope that there's someone else inspired to aim high and go for it
just
when
take
that
that step.
moment comes.
It was a
To
God
go
thing,
for it.
absolutely. It was a God thing. Moving to Savannah was a God thing for me. But yeah, you just shut up and listen. Mhm.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
So I was reading on your website from 2017, and now there are only 365 days in the year,
right.
but I noticed in 2017, Emmaus House served 43,500 meals
Yeah.
to homeless and hungry people in Savannah.
Yep.
So, how do you accomplish 43,000 meals in
Yeah.
365 days?
Hustle. Honestly, the community. I am blown away every single day by how phenomenal the Savannah community is. I A good example is I was giving a tour to a group through Emmaus House. We were just walking through, and I heard a knock at the door, and this couple was just walking around, saw what we did, popped their head in, and they joined the tour. They made a donation. They're, monthly donors now, and this is a group from outside of Savannah. It's just the giving heart of people is here in Savannah just blows my mind on a daily basis. And honestly, we have 6 staff members, right? Myself, I have an assistant. We have someone over the laundry and shower process. We have a chef, and we have a maintenance person. That is our staff. We have a volunteer pool of 50 plus individuals that sign up whenever they're able to volunteer. And that's not including our volunteers from SCAD and our volunteers from Epiphany Church. So we've got this pool of just the most incredibly hardworking, giving, loving people that make Emmaus House run. Again, I'm just steering the boat, right? I'm just making sure that we are getting the funds that we need in order to purchase the food and the food products, and replacing water heaters when they break, and keeping the lights on. But it's the community. It's really just creating the space so that the community can come in and do it and do the work. And it's such a huge blessing to be able to work directly with such incredible people. So that's how we do it. And it's a lot, but we would be doing 250, sometimes 300 hot meals for breakfast. Um, and that's on a daily basis, and that's 5 days a week, right? So yeah, that number climbs, it climbs. And I'll say this year we're headed toward probably about 30,000, so a little bit less. And those numbers are from 2017 versus now. We've had some staff changes, and some things have changed around Emmaus House, but yeah, we're just doing it. We're making sure people get food.
That
It's
is
very,
amazing.
yeah.
And I want to ask you. You mentioned making sure you get the funds because groceries are high in 2022.
Yes.
So, and you mentioned the funding. So, who are some of the people, or how are you funded to, I mean, just buy the groceries for
Yeah,
this
just the
many
groceries
people?
alone. Yeah, we are
Yes.
blessed. We're blessed to have a really great relationship with Second Harvest Food Bank. So we go there probably twice a week. We also get funding from United Way. We get funding from local foundations, and mostly from individual donations. Just individuals who are like, I know I see the work you're doing. Volunteers are like, I see the work you're doing, and I'm going to throw you $5 here because that's one meal. I got it. I'm gonna cover it. Local businesses who support. We have a fundraiser, an annual fundraiser that happens every year, and individuals that help support that. Companies that are amazing that donate regularly. It's all again 100% community funded.
That is awesome. And a minute ago, you just mentioned $5 because I think sometimes we look at the enormity of the project and we think that, well, I can't do anything because I don't have 100,000 sitting around. But it sounds like it's more about everybody doing what they can,
Absolutely.
whether that is $5 or
Yeah, that's
whatever they
exactly
may have at the
it.
moment.
Absolutely. You know, I'll check our mailbox and we'll have a handful of checks in the mail, right? And I'll be excited, and I'll be just as excited about $100 check as I am a $5 check, because at the end of the day, that's someone who is given from what they have, right? Like you can send me a $5 check, but if you got $200 in your bank account, that $5 is making a dent. That's coming from somewhere so incredibly beautiful and special, right? If you're sending me a check for $100 and you've got $200 in the bank, what? That's amazing. Do you know what I mean? So it's obviously the money goes somewhere. We have bills that need to be paid, but as far as the value that we put, every single penny that comes to us, I'm literally watching where that penny goes. The bill that's being paid with that penny, and having that penny turn into a plate of food, is a very beautiful thing to see. Absolutely.
That is awesome. So now I'm just trying to get a picture of what you do when you said people can come in, because I saw that Emmaus House is described as an unrestricted soup kitchen. So does that include the washing of the clothes and all of that? Is that
Oh
what is
yeah.
meant by unrestricted?
So absolutely. So most places, when you go somewhere, you're going to either have to pay money or fill out some form or show some form of verification or something. We don't ask anybody any questions. And I like to look at it as, let's say a good analogy is like if you're in church and, we're focused on the pulpit, and, we're just receiving the word. And sometimes you have that person that just comes into the church. They're not trying to fellowship. They're not trying to make a connection. They're in crisis mode and they need the word. They need to receive it now, because they are starving. Um, and so that's kind of the reason why we don't ask anybody questions when they come into Emmaus House, because again, they were just sleeping outside under a bridge. I'm not going to ask you to see your ID. I'm not going to ask you anything. You take this piece of food, right? Give me your laundry, let me wash it. You don't have to say anything. Now, if you decide then that you want to fellowship, you want to connect with us, you want to build rapport, oh my gosh, by all means, you want to tell me what's going on in your life so we can figure out how to get you to the next step, 100%. But we do not ask anybody any questions. You show up in that line and you're hungry, you're going to get fed. You show up an hour after the line is emptied, and as long as it's before 1 o'clock and we're not gone, you knock on that door, you're going to get fed. You come to us with a load of laundry, we're going to wash your clothes. Do you know what I mean? That's what we mean when we say we're unrestricted. There's absolutely no red tape to jump through, nothing. If you're in the line, then you need help and we're going to help you. Point blank.
My heart is filled with joy just hearing what you say. And
Yeah.
I'm sure there are other people. I know some of the people on here, and there are many of us who believe that God will bless us to be a blessing.
Yes.
And
That's
as
it.
he does that, Emmaus House, I would just, I would love to just have unlimited supply right now, because I would do everything I could to just push
Yeah.
us forward. And I believe the day will come and I'll be able to do it. So
Amen.
if a person came with they wanted their clothes washed, I mean, do you have like a line of washing machines? I'm just trying to picture how that works. Or
We have 2 washers and 2 dryers, and we work those things
really,
to the bone.
oh my goodness,
We have one person who's on staff to literally that's what they do, is just wash load after load after load.
wow.
And we'll do probably about 10 a day. Yeah.
That is so good. I appreciate you for just sharing with us what you do. Now, I'm curious, where is Emmaus House located? I don't know where you are in Savannah.
Yeah, so we're downtown. We're right on Reynolds Square. So we're at 18 Abercorn. I like to, I only know where things are based on like the closest food place because food is my love language. So right on the same square as the Pink House, and also next to where you have to pay your parking tickets. See, I always
Oh
that's
wow, I know where the Pink House is.
yeah, yeah. So if you're ever downtown in the morning, driving around, and you see a long line of people standing outside, that's more than likely us. We're right on Abercorn and Bryan Street.
Wow, I had no idea.
Yeah,
I
that's it.
in fact, I believe I was downtown a few days ago, and I was in that area because there's so much construction on Broughton, and I was
Yes.
going around.
Yep.
I believe I passed where
You may
you
have.
are.
Yep. Very
Wow,
possible. Very
I'm
possible.
glad to know. I'm glad to know where you are. So I want to ask you one more question because a lot of times when we think of homelessness or hunger, we think men. The
Mhm.
image that comes to my mind a lot of
Yeah.
time would be homeless men. But
Yeah.
do you come across women in need as well?
Um, so pre-pandemic, if you'd asked that question, I would have said that 75% of our clients are African American men over the age of 40. Um, and there's some truth still in that that's the predominant demographic that we see. But we have definitely seen an uptick in the amount of women that we're seeing regularly. And we've also seen an uptick in like whites and Hispanics in a way that we hadn't seen before. And that just, I think, speaks to the level of widespread effect that the pandemic has had. Um, initially I think fundamentally there's a cultural systemic problem that we need to confront as a country that lands the predominant um, individual who's experiencing homeless to be African American men. But I think again that the pandemic has definitely thrown a wrench into um, that whole idea, meaning that we are definitely seeing that demographic has changed. Um, I I was gonna make a point and it just left my mind, but there's definitely, you know, that's who we're seeing most of the time. But yeah, we're seeing more females. We don't really see children. The beautiful thing is that Union Mission is a local agency that we absolutely love that we've partnered have been partnering with for years. But they have recently opened Parker's House, which is a home for unaccompanied women. So a lot of the resources that you'll see in the community are geared toward women and children. Um, but there has never really been a place for women who do not have children, who are not married. There hasn't really been a place for them to go. And that was the one thing that broke me the most, I think, in doing this work. Was having conversation with women and hearing the horrible things that they have to go through, living on the streets and being completely vulnerable every single night. So to have access to Parker's House and have a place to send them now is huge, 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 huge. But yeah, so our demo. I mean, honestly, all it takes is a someone who you are dependent upon um, passing away, and now they you don't you no longer have that support in your home. Um, Now you're homeless, right? Or an illness, a really bad illness that can land you with all these medical bills that you're just not able to take care of. And now you're experiencing homeless. I mean, a hurricane, um, and I've seen this even with like Hurricane Matthew back in 2016. I saw this with a handful of people that had their homes decimated. Um, and now they have nowhere to go and they're at Emmaus House. So all it takes is just something completely out of our control um, that can land you right in a position where you need to have access to our services. The big thing is now after that happens, what is our community doing to help pull you out of that situation and put you back where you need to be? And so Emmaus House is definitely part of that network, but there's a whole lot more work that needs to be done
Sure.
in getting people into homes.
So a lot of this conversation has been about the homeless population, but is Emmaus House open to? Because I thought in the last several years, there's a
Mhm.
phrase that we've heard so much called food insecurity
Yeah.
that is experienced by people who are not necessarily homeless.
Right.
So do you offer services to people who are just experiencing food insecurity who may not be homeless?
Absolutely. And like I said, our services are unrestricted. So we just by default end up seeing people who are experiencing homelessness, but we see everyone. We're not going to ask you whether you're homeless when you come to the door, right? Um, and so we see families who are just in extreme poverty that, it's the end of the month and all of my funds are tapped out and we need food. Um, it happens. It happens all the time. But again, because we don't ask those questions, those aren't necessarily demographics that we capture immediately. But just in building rapport with individuals as they come in, that's definitely the case. So yeah, we end up seeing primarily people experiencing homelessness, but again, we're not asking questions.
Sure. So I saw that you're connected with United Ministries of Savannah. So,
Yes.
so what is the difference between Emmaus House and United Ministries of Savannah?
Oh, this is the fun part. So, uh, back in the 80s, there were about 6 different downtown churches that kind of formed United Ministries, with the intent of being able to provide these resources to those in need in our community. And so there were a few different programs that were put together. One was called Helping Hands, where we provided financial assistance, and that just wasn't a viable program. And so eventually, United Ministries just had Emmaus House. So it's the same thing. United Ministries is just the umbrella organization that's over Emmaus House, but it just gets confusing because it sounds like we're United Ministries, but it's just Emmaus House. It's all one thing. It's one
Great.
umbrella with Emmaus House underneath.
Got you. Got you. So I want to ask you a question because Thanksgiving is next week
Yes.
and a lot of places close for the holidays.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Thanksgiving is sort of it launches us into the holiday season.
Mhm.
So what are your hours to help people, for instance, Thanksgiving Day and going over into the holidays?
Yeah. So I think at Emmaus House, we kind of look at ourselves as sort of supplementing meals that are not typically provided. So again, we're open Monday through Friday. That's when people are working. Those that want to give back aren't really in the position to do that Monday through Friday. So that's when we're open. We're closed on the weekends because our community is amazing and we've got groups like People Helping People that serve in Forsyth Park on Sundays. We've got churches that serve in Reynolds Square, actually, right outside of our facility. There's I think it's Isle of Hope United Methodist Church that has a group called Oasis that goes out every Saturday morning and provides a meal. So during the holidays and on the weekends, we kind of pull back to allow our community to really do it. So we've got so many different churches. We've got other agencies that do huge meals on Thanksgiving Day. So man, folks in Savannah do not go hungry. If you know where to go, you're fine. You're
That
fine.
is so
A lot of
great.
food opportunities. Yeah.
And all of these services that are available, I'm just so happy to hear. But Arianna, I can't take it anymore. What can we do to help?
Yes.
There's got to be someone who's feeling like I do. You are doing something so great, and
Yeah.
my heart is for the people.
Awesome.
Even our church, our vision is that we have a heart for God, but we also have a heart for people.
It's the
What
same
what
thing.
what can we do? What can our viewers do to help out?
That is my favorite question in the world. So
Okay.
I love it. I love it. So we have obviously our breakfast service program, which is just a nice hot meal, and that's Monday through Thursday. We have a clothing closet. It's Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Just visit our website. It's unitedministriessavannah.org. There's more information about volunteering, about donating on the website. If you have any questions, you can go to the contact us section. It goes right to me, literally right to my phone, because I have no concept of separating my life and Emmaus House. It's all the same thing. So you can send me a message. And we honestly, we want, the big thing is obviously we want volunteers to come and put your hands to work. If that's making sandwiches, mixing, making lemonade, making iced tea, whatever you want to do at Emmaus House, walk around and talk to people, wipe down tables, play waitress for a day or waiter for a day. Or if the easiest thing for you to do would be to get to put together like a food drive or a canned food drive or a paper goods drive or something like that, at your barbershop or your nail salon, and say, hey, throw some items in this box and I'm going to bring it to Emmaus House. You can do that. We have lots of people who do that, and that's awesome. A lot of the stuff that we use on a regular basis, we can get donated a pack of to-go boxes today and they're gone tomorrow, right? So this is a constant need. There's so many different ways, but just check out our website. Let me know if you have any questions at all. I'm happy to answer. This is, I love it. I love it. And there's so many different ways to get involved. So
That is amazing. Now, you mentioned a fundraiser, your big fundraiser every year. Tell us about your fundraiser.
oh man, it's the only thing that gets me like ready for the holidays. So we have this wonderful relationship with local artists, local pottery makers, ceramic artists, from schools, from studios that make these beautiful handmade bowls, and they collect them all year and then donate them to us. And so this event is called the Empty Bowl Fundraiser. And basically, what we do is we put all these bowls together. We also provide a wonderful meal put together by our Chef Joe. And this year he made a seafood chowder, a vegan lentil soup, and a 6-bean chili that was so good. Um, and it took place in Reynolds Square. And you come in $20. You get to pick whatever bowl you want to take home as a keepsake for yourself. Beautiful handmade bowls. And then you get a delicious lunch, and all the proceeds go right back into our program. So it's very
Oh,
mission driven because it's right there in Reynolds Square in the middle of um, all of what we do, and right there where our clients are. So it's very mission focused.
so have we missed it for this year?
It was November 6th this year, yeah.
Oh my
But it's
goodness.
the first. We have it every year. It's fine. We can just
Oh
plan.
wow. Well,
Um,
well, matter of fact, Tiny says beautiful bowls.
yes.
So,
Oh, she knows. Tynese knows how good those.
okay, great, great. Wow. Well, we'll have to look forward to that. I wasn't
Yeah,
aware of your empty bowl fundraiser, but
yeah.
it sounds amazing. I look forward to that.
Well, it's the first Sunday in November of every year. So definitely we'll let you know when it happens again next year.
Please do. I would
Yeah.
love to um, be a part of that. And
Awesome.
so, listen, you've told us how we can help out. We know where you are, and
Mhm.
you've told us some of the ways that we can assist or serve or to give those kinds of things. So, is there, if a person wanted to give, um, and you mentioned maybe finding a check in the mail, is that the best way to support Emmaus House if we chose to do so?
Yeah, you could do that. Or you can just go right on our website. There's a donate section. There's actually an area where you can make a monetary donation. We also have an Amazon wish list on our website. So if you wanted to purchase something specifically from, for us, that's an option as well, just to cut out the middleman. But yeah, either way, honestly, as long as we get it, it goes right back into our clients' hands or into their bellies. So,
That is so great. Well, Ms. Arianna Berksteiner, thank you so
hey.
much
Thank
for this
you.
night.
This is wonderful.
Um, I feel like I'm talking to a hero, because you all are doing such great work in this city. Again,
Thank
I
you.
salute you and Emmaus House and the work that your team and the volunteers are doing to fill such a need
Yeah,
in our city. And if I may say so, God bless you for the work that you do,
thank you.
and may He
Thank
continue
you.
to bless you and Emmaus House and your family and
Amen.
all that you do. I pray that God will just cause everything you touch to prosper. But I look
Amen.
forward to in some way partnering with the Mayor's House to do
Yeah,
something. Now, I'm going to tell you right now,
yeah.
I'm just sort of learning how to cook, so I probably won't volunteer to be a chef. But
We can put you to work. If you've got hands and feet, and you don't even have to have both hands and both feet. It doesn't really matter, right? We will put you to work. If
okay,
you can use a knife and cut something, or if you can put, coffee on a table, listen, we'll put you to work.
oh well, I was going to say
Everybody's got a talent.
I could stir the lemonade or something like
Yes,
that. But
you're gonna be the lemonade guy. Done. Done.
but
I'm gonna call the staff now and let them know we've got a lemonade guy, guys. I'm just kidding.
yeah, I would be glad to serve. But listen, I thank you for this conversation.
Yes.
This has been so enlightening,
I'm
and
so glad.
again, just I'm so happy to hear of some of these great things that Savannah's doing. Again, I had no
Yeah.
idea about this until I
Yeah.
heard about you and the work that you all are doing. So This is so wonderful tonight. And thank you for your time on this Thursday. And I hope there's someone else who will join me in some type of volunteer day or something. But I'm not just saying this. I really want to help out some kind of way.
No,
And
you
I look forward to
can
doing it.
always just come by, and if you want, I can give you a tour. I can show you what we do. Like, we're just 18 Abercorn. We're there from 6 a.m. to 1 o'clock every day. Just come on by. You just come on by.
Will do.
Totally. Yeah.
Will do. Well, those of you who are here tonight, we thank you for being a part of this conversation. And again, Arianna Berksteiner, thank you so much, Executive Director of Emmaus House. And she has told us what they do. She's given us the invitation to come and put not even both hands, one hand to work. But listen, we're gonna. It gives you hope.
Yeah.
When it seems like the world is hopeless. I hear you talk and what you all are doing, and I say there's hope. There are good people in this world. And so
there's so
thank
many.
you for this conversation. I've enjoyed this. Have a great rest of the evening.
You too.
And those of you that are here part of this conversation, until we meet again here on The Conversation, we're glad you joined us. Share this even after tonight. Let someone hear what Arianna shared with us, and let's make this world a better place. So I'm Kenny. Thank you all so much. Arianna, have a great night. And we'll look to meet you in person one of these days at Emmaus House right here in Savannah. Good night, everybody.